One. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Gamers Lounge podcast. My name is John Meadows. With me as always is Nathaniel, almost said Eric, Nathaniel, Robert, and Matt.
Eric.
That's not Eric. Who are you people?
This time we actually have a label on there.
What's my name? Yeah, no, I actually have a label this time.
It's official, and it feels like one of those like you get their name tag and they just tape over it, and you're like, well, whose was this? Like, shh, doesn't matter.
Yeah. And it'll move next time, because what's cool is I can just click this and I can just go, whoa, look, whoa. Oh, wait, there we go.
You could just put it right over his face if you wanted.
Well, yeah, if I had it in the right layer, I could, but unfortunately, I'd have to move it up. But that's fine.
Slap that all the way on the top.
Yeah, I could put that all the way on the top. I just... but no, now he's officially got his own label, so we know he's made it. He's finally made it, after all. Hi, Mom. But no. We started late, had all kinds of weird issues. Hopefully the stream isn't going to be too bad. It's just things are not cooperating today for some reason. Story of my life. That's usually the way it happens. It's something does not cooperate very well, but whatever. It's all good.
It wouldn't be an official podcast if we weren't late.
No, last week was too good. Or last time we recorded was too good because everything just worked perfect. So it'll do that for about 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 recordings, and then all of a sudden it'll all go to pot, and then it'll straighten itself out. So who knows? Whatever. I mean, it is what it is. It's fine. But
the good thing is, like, I think this really proves that this podcast is gluten free.
Gluten free.
Gluten free, GMO free, and milk free. So, no allergies here, guys.
Yeah, no allergies there.
But if you're eating the podcast, it might not be a good idea.
Yeah, we got way other issues if you're eating a podcast. There's
I just want to know how you're doing it.
I guess you're eating an iPod, maybe a Zune. Is a Zune still a thing?
Yeah, totally.
People just
Yeah,
piling up
that's what everyone
Zunes
uses,
and eating. Yeah, they kind of look like chocolate bars anyway. They were that horrible brown, and I mean,
some people might be listening on like an old Walkman or something. We're not here to judge.
Wow, I don't care. Whatever.
I don't think anybody listening knows what a Walkman is.
Probably not. Yeah.
Did they have somebody take the podcast, record it to cassette for them?
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Can you move that over to cassette so I can listen to it on the bus this week? I gotta.
Oh my goodness!
Like
we just discovered the new profit centers for like limited run games. They just put podcasts on like CDs.
on CDs
like
and cassettes.
Or vinyl. Oh my
out
goodness!
of business.
Yeah. Oh no, vinyl's the way to go. That's the new hipster thing. Is
I just have the
vinyl.
best of the Gamers Lounge Volume 1.
Yeah. Put it out on vinyl. People buy it. It doesn't even care. It doesn't even matter what it is on vinyl. People just buy it.
It just has to have just the right amount of static. Not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot. Not too little. Just like that nice oh yeah, I can hear the record scratch.
There's a very fine medium of the scratching to clear ratio that you have to have. It's very important. But I don't know. I grew up listening to 8-tracks, so screw you guys. Screw you guys and your records.
Little plastic cartridges.
With these huge tapes.
I grew up with cassette.
Well, I had cassette too, but the only thing in the house was a record player with an 8-track player, so there was lots of 8-tracks left around the house. So. I was even going through stuff at Mom's house, and I found a in-dash 8-track player that I could install in my car if I wanted to.
I bet that has come back around being so vintage that you'd never know if you were to like list it on eBay and write the word vintage on it.
Yeah, well, anything that has the word vintage on it nowadays is a big thing. So everybody around here slaps vintage on a video game and thinks it's worth like $400. Even PS2 is vintage. I'm like, no, it's not. You're all insane. But
I mean, it's more vintage than the current game, I guess.
I guess, but I don't know. It seems very, very weird.
Maybe they
It's
sucked it
vintage.
in wine first.
Yeah,
And if it's more than one generation old, it's considered vintage these days.
I guess. I don't know.
It's vintage for people like me, though. It's not just old. It's going back around to being nostalgic.
I think that's it more than anything. But well, anyway, we're here to talk about video games, not just vintage video games or
We have a
vintage
podcast
things.
for that.
We do have a podcast for that, though. We didn't get to record this week because Danny actually moved, so he doesn't get internet till tomorrow. So,
So, makes it a little more difficult.
yeah, it's kind of hard to record a podcast on the internet when you don't have internet, but you know, you can always get out on the porch and yell, I guess. I mean, you know.
But if you want to app you're using, you can use it on phone.
Yeah. Who wants to use cellular data on a podcast? Weird.
I finally have unlimited data again. This is great.
Be one of those weirdos that goes to Starbucks and sets up like their whole rig. It's just like,
Yes.
what are you doing, sir? It's like, I bought a small coffee here, sir. You
I
can't
remember
figure it out.
somebody doing that in my hometown when World of Warcraft was super popular. Just took
Yeah.
his whole computer to a McDonald's, and I was just like, all right, man, more power to you. But
I guess, yeah. I remember when that was the thing because, you know, internet was so expensive at the house that, yeah. I remember a lot of people doing that. It's very weird. You go to McDonald's, see the same
you
dude
could
sitting in the back. Just,
Go
you know.
raiding with McNuggets. I mean, come on.
Well, you know,
that
it's
just sounds really good.
you're cutting out the middleman. You know, you're already there, so it's like, you know, you don't have to get your nuggets and take them home. You know, you just bring your computer to the McDonald's and sit there for 3 hours while you do the raid.
It's like
I
a
mean,
lot more hassle than bringing the food home.
yeah, I know. It just sounds like a terrible idea.
And if you eat it all and you still want more, you can get some right away.
Yeah, you go.
Total party wipe. That's 10
Yeah,
piece.
AFK. I'll be right back. Ma'am, can I have some more McNuggets over here? We don't do table service, please. I'm in the middle of my garage side. I need. I can't stop. Yeah.
Bring
Yeah.
the nuggets.
But anyway, we'll talk about what we've been playing, and it hasn't been World of Warcraft, surprisingly. I haven't.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, I haven't played World of Warcraft in a long time. Yeah, it's been a long time since
Cataclysm
I've
came
played.
out.
Yeah, that's the last time I actually played World of Warcraft was Cataclysm. Wait a minute. No, wait, I played
World of Warcraft
played a little bit of Mist of Pandaria, I guess. That was really the last that I played. It's been a while, though. I kind of want to get, every once in a while I get an itch to go back in it, and then it's like, I'm alright.
I'm actually getting back into it this week.
Oh, are you? Well, that's...
I got some friends at work that I talked into it, and they're like, okay.
Why?
And so we played several months ago, then we all got busy, so then we stopped. And then we're getting back into it here soon.
Well,
Next,
I miss having the
expansion.
time to play an MMO.
yeah.
Because I love me some MMO, but
Yeah,
can't
I do
make it work
too.
anymore.
Well, and this is usually the time of year school's getting ready to wind down, and just, this is usually when me and the wife would start playing World of Warcraft pretty regularly. But we don't even do that anymore. So, but every once in a while she's like, "We ought to get Warcraft again." I'm like, I got so many other things I've got to play. I really don't want to get back into Warcraft.
It's you either play that or you
Yeah.
get to play everything else.
Right, exactly. So, and speaking of playing, so I know Nathaniel and Robert have both played God of War, but Robert wasn't here last time we recorded. So, what are your feelings? How are you doing with God of War? Have you really got to get into it, or?
I have now. If I had recorded with you last week, I had maybe like an hour in it. But
Yeah.
I've played a good amount now. The more I play it, the more I like it. My
Yes.
very initial impressions were, this is really good, but it's not, mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But now, while I'm still not to the point to where I think it's mind-blowing, it is just all around polished everywhere. It really is a phenomenal game in that respect. It hasn't necessarily done anything new or innovative, but just the fact that it does everything that it goes out to do so well,
I would
speaks
say
volumes.
that the camera is innovative in that they had to put so much technical work in to make it as smooth as it is, where it just never cuts. It's just all
Oh yeah, the
smoothly flying around, and then it'll
cinematic aspect of it.
switch off of Kratos for some stuff for cutscenes, and then come back and always, sticking around and framing things in very cinematic ways, and able to just program that and run the system for that. But they had to work a lot, I would assume.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I gotta
I've
say the
never played
camera
any
work
other
is
game
one of
that
the
kind
best
feels
things.
that smooth. It's very nice.
hmm Even the side quests, usually side quests wear on me, but they're paced so well in this game that by the time I come to them, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go do this side quest. I don't care about what's going on in the main story because they give it its own little tiny stories. Similar, I would say, to the Witcher, but not nearly as grand as the Witcher. The Witcher has, its own game within a side quest, but these are just little snippets that add to the lore and the world around you.
And Witcher's full on open world, where this has kind of got some open worldiness to it, where it's got some big.
Yeah, it really doesn't feel open world to me at all.
Going to different levels.
Yeah. Each little area is its own contained thing within a hub.
Yeah. And
but
they have all
it's
the
just
fun little
enough.
like hidden paths and things, and once you get back out to the main kind of area again, there's different places to explore that you can go off of if you want to, or you could just like mainline it too.
Yeah.
Whichever way you feel like. It is worth going on the side quest because you get some really good gear from those.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that.
I super overwhelmed when I first started playing, just with all of the things that could be upgraded, crafted, and just customized. I was just like, this is too much. But then
it does not feel like a lot to me at all because I've played way too many RPGs for it to
feel like a lot. I'm going in with a mindset. I was on blackout for all God of War stuff, and while I knew that it was more involved, I didn't think it was going to be this involved for that type of game, because it really feels nothing at all like the old God of Wars. There's nothing that came over other than the character, but it's for the better, I think. Even as far in as I am, and I'm probably, I don't know, maybe 10 hours in at this point.
Okay.
I still don't feel like the combat is like super deep, even after I've been able to customize.
It's so good once you unlock some of the further skills. I'm probably 5 to 10 hours past where you are, and I've been unlocking some of the extra skills that I've got so many more moves now, so many more choices to do.
Well, I have like the Leviathan level 4 skills, I think, right now, either 3 or 4. Yeah. So I've definitely upgraded quite a bit. But even then, it's like, oh, you take this move away just to get this move, so it doesn't ever get complicated.
Yeah, like some of them is like you'll unlock a skill, and then the next thing down the tree is just making that skill a little bit better. Or there's some where it's like, okay, once you've done this move, if you hit the button again, he'll have an extra little thing at the end of it to kind of make it more powerful in that way, but also still interactively feeling kind of new versus just like, oh, it causes more damage.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing that I've unlocked that comes in very useful in some of the fights is one where you return projectiles with your shield if you block.
Yes, I do have that one now.
But the way the game does it, it's not just like Zelda or something where it bonks off the shield and goes, like the thing goes back. You like absorb the energy and then just like shoot it out.
Right.
So cool. The animation is really neat.
You feel super powerful when they want you to, and it really is awesome. I also got to say that is it Atreus? Whatever
Atreus.
Atreus. Boy. That's my favorite thing in the game is when he says boy. Anyway,
I've caught myself saying that at work.
Yeah. He went from, Michelle said that I'm not allowed to talk to my child this way, and I'm just like, we'll see. He went from being completely useless to me to like he's throwing a stick, at the enemies to. He's a major component in my battles now, and a lot of the moves that I do are set up from things that he's started, which is really, really cool.
At the beginning, it's pretty much just like, okay, he's just your kid with you, and he can, try not to get killed, and that's about it.
Right, he's just annoying the enemies.
Getting more powerful just at the same time as you're unlocking moves. You're just like, I'm Kratos, I'm just going to do something different, but I'm still just as powerful and cool. But he feels like, over the course of the game that I've played, where you start out, he's just a kid and he's learning as he goes and getting more and more powerful as you go. And where I've got everything that I can unlock for his tree that I can't, except for like level 5.
I upgrade him quicker than I upgrade myself.
Yeah, because it comes in handy because his arrows will stun things quicker than your normal attacks, so, and also distract them. So what it'll do is shoot them with a bunch of arrows, their little stun meter goes up some, and then when you get up there, they're probably faced away from you, which means when you punch them, it causes a lot more stun.
More damage.
Punching them in the front. So then you get the little finisher moves, and you just like rip things apart. It's really good.
Yeah, it's great.
Have you made it to sort of the trying to figure out a way to say this that's vague, but still you could understand it. Like sort of the goal that's set up they're trying to go to since the beginning. Like, hey, we have to go
I made
here.
I made it to the initial place they wanted to go.
Okay.
And now I'm
trying to guess on how far you were in the game.
right. So now I'm trying to get to the next place they're trying to get to go, and I've just been stuck doing a bunch of side quests on my way there.
Yeah.
That's right where I am. I'm about to actually.
So we're
go to that area.
Similar parts of the game. I found a side quest that I missed earlier in the game that was like way overpowered for it. That was really earlier this afternoon. I was like, wait, all these enemies are level 2 and I've been fighting level 4s and sometimes 5s. Like, these guys are toast. They're all dead.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun.
So how long is the game? Because there's been a lot of people I follow on Twitter beat it like in the first 3 or 4 days it was out.
Supposedly the story is 30 to 40 hours.
Yeah.
And then to get everything, it's another 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Now, is that a Destiny 2 40 hours, or is that an actual 40 hours?
It's hard to say.
I mean, I've put somewhere between 10 and 20. It doesn't tell you how long you played, so I don't know for sure. But somewhere
I was just curious. Yeah,
I can't tell how far into the game I am. Sometimes it feels like I'm really far. Other times it feels like I could be slightly getting close to like halfway.
Yeah.
Just the way the story is unfolding. Like the major points haven't been hit yet, and the first goal was met, but now there's an equal goal to meet. So maybe I'm a third of the way through. I don't know.
Some of the people that I follow on Twitter, it's always hard for me to tell how long a game is unless I read a review of it because they go through it so fast. I don't know if they don't have jobs or if they don't have.
I'm taking my time.
I don't know. I don't know why people blow through games so fast. I don't know how they blow through games so fast.
I mean, it's similar to why you binge watch a show that you're just like, I just want to consume this all right now.
Yeah.
I have the time, so I'm not going to force myself to stop because I can just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's also like they're sitting down to play a game and absorb all the parts of it, and they're sitting down to get the story at the end.
Yeah.
Like, if you sit down and you're just like, I'm going to ignore all the side quests, I'm going to like cheese my way through the game to beat it as fast as possible.
I think
like
that,
a lot of those games
the type
feel
of people,
short.
they're very, goal oriented or whatever. I want to get to the end, versus someone like me who's like, I want to see all of these things, and I'm going to take as long as I can to look at every little nook and cranny.
Well, it's like one of the guys that we follow each other on Twitter. He platinumed the game in like 3 days. I'm like,
wow,
what the crap?
I don't think he slept.
That was the only thing I could come up with, and not playing the game or watching any of the. I haven't watched any streams or anything like that because eventually I'm going to get to it. So it's like, well, I don't want to see every little thing about it, but I want to know a little bit about it and this and that. But he was like, I platinumed the game 3 days after coming out. I'm like, what the crap?
It feels slightly different than this, but the structure of the game almost feels kind of like Zelda in that you have kind of an overworld hub area that has a bunch of sort of things through it, and then you have where you can tell like I'm in a dungeon, quote unquote, where you're on sort of a path. And there might be a couple little hidden things here or there on it, but you're going from the beginning to the end of it, and then you'll loop back around to, okay, now I'm in a bigger area again. It kind of has a little bit of that vibe to it. It also, what I really like is it has a similar vibe to Arkham Asylum in that you're in an area, but then things happen to sort of switch it up and change the environment. You're not just in the same feeling thing all the time.
Yeah. The environments are super varied. Like everything feels different.
Not only that you're like, okay, I'm in a completely different place over here, and it looks different than this other place I was in, but the areas that you're spending more time in because it's there to explore, things happen that will sort of change it up a little bit. And goes, hey, here's a cool thing that you couldn't get to before, or here's this thing that you saw before, but now you can get to it a different way. And it's very not pacing is the wrong word, but it's a good way of kind of keeping variety and not getting bored. Like, I've seen this already.
I can see that.
There is one thing that's been bugging me, and they have like a fast travel system, but you can't travel between the fast travel points. You can only go to like the main hub from any of the fast travel points. And I don't know if that's
meant to be like they want story. It's probably there's something in the story that will unlock that.
Right.
I guess. And they don't want you to be just like bouncing here, there, everywhere, loading it everywhere. They want you to actually travel through the world and kind of live in it a bit before they let you just bounce around. And it doesn't really take that long to get anywhere. from one.
Yeah,
place to
it looks a
another.
lot bigger from the map than when
Is-
you're actually
Yeah.
traveling.
Is it kind of like Dark Souls 3, where you can like go between major areas? So you said
I
it's
would
like
say,
you go
no,
to.
more like
So
Dark
so there's
Souls
like the
1.
main hub in the middle,
Mhm.
and from there you can't go anywhere. But from the other points in all the other areas, you can go back to the main hub. At least for now, it looks like you should be able to select
So,
the other
think of
ones
it-
at some point.
Think of it more
So you
like
can go
Dark
out.
Souls 1. So in
You
Dark
can go
Souls
in,
1,
but not out.
Dark Souls 1, you're wandering all the way around and you're bonfires, and then late in the game you can unlock those for fast travel and you can bounce between some of the bonfires. Here, there's these things that are part of the fast travel system that you'll go and you'll find them, and they'll be on your map and will show there, but they're just kind of locked right now because you don't have the ability to go between every which one. You can go in one and come back to the middle of the map. There's one that you can go to, and that's it. Until I'm assuming some point in the future of the game where it's like, oh, okay, now you can go wherever you want.
Maybe it's after you beat it, then they're like, okay, we're not going to make you walk everywhere anymore.
I mean,
Have
it
fun.
could be.
Yeah.
Because it's very much set up as this is an adventure that you are on a journey with.
And there's a lot of story and conjecture between, Atreus and Kratos in between
Oh,
areas.
man.
So you don't really want to skip out on all that stuff. That's some of my favorite.
Yeah, I love
Um,
story time with Kratos because he's so matter of fact about it. Like,
He's just
telling
like this,
people-
this, and this. Is
Like,
that
a
the whole
lot of
story?
these,
Yes.
Like fables that you've heard of, so like the scorpion and the frog, but the way that Kratos tells it is so funny.
There was like a tortoise and the hare that he was talking
Yeah,
about. He was
that's
like,
right.
there was a fast hare and a slow tortoise. The tortoise wins, and that was the story.
And then that was
The
it.
end.
Then there's one where that's like the opposite, like the other side of that, where Kratos is saying something and then Atreus jumps in and says, "Oh, this happened," and then like, "Yes, that's how it happened." Like, interrupts him.
And Atreus is like, "Do you want to tell another story? It can't be as bad as your last one." And he's just like talking smack to Kratos, and I'm just like, this guy is gonna like slap you
Yeah.
off the boat.
And the fun thing I like from the story too is they're kind of like they get in moods basically. So like Atreus is sort of one way when he starts out, and then some certain things happen, so he gets very more confrontational with Kratos, and is more like, "Rah, like I don't like you," and then like it evolves and changes as you go, which is fun.
It feels like a
changes
real
the
father-son
dynamic. Yeah.
relationship. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. And like as you're fighting with him in the beginning, Kratos is just like, "You suck, like you're awful," and then eventually it's, "Dad, how was that?" And Kratos is just like, "Adequate," and now it's just like, "You're getting better." He won't say he's doing all right.
Yeah,
It's
they do
okay.
that so much. That's how much time you've played and how much you've upgraded him, probably. I bet. But there's also
Mhm.
if you let him finish things off rather than you finishing it off, he'll also.
And how quickly you
have to
dispatch
do
the
that.
enemies.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's
we're
cool.
getting better.
Is,
You can always improve. Roar.
does anybody know at the end game? Does it give you can you go back and get side quests you missed, or when the game
Yes.
ends, it's over? Okay,
I have heard that.
From what
you
I've heard, you can.
okay. That's what I wondered, because I wonder if maybe.
Yeah, I've heard on multiple like podcasts and things where they're saying that
Yeah,
you
you
can go back and do
you don't
something.
need to replay the game to get
That's
the
cool.
platinum or anything like that.
Okay.
And you can change the difficulty up or down whenever you want, and it won't affect trophies either.
Oh, that's
I've been
cool.
playing it on normal and it's been pretty good, but if it's something
Yeah.
you just wanted to store, you could put it down to like.
The only thing that's been super difficult at times for me is the arena area. Have you been there yet?
The arena. I don't think I've been to it.
It's not an arena, but it's an area where there's a bunch of like trials in arena form. It's a side quest.
I have not seen that. But I
There's like
think-
different tiers of
Is
it,
it-
and
Yeah, is it a place
those
that
can
you?
be challenging.
Is it a place that you can get to once you unlock like a cipher key for it?
Yes.
Okay, then I think I know what you're talking about because I just got the last one of those, and I've been doing so many other things, so I hadn't gone to go check it out yet.
It's its own hub world, but it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
that.
I realized that, so I was like, I'm gonna do these few things here, and then it's like, oh crap, I have to stop playing. We're gonna do the podcast tonight.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It
why
was
we wanted
7
to do it
o'clock and I looked
early.
at my watch and I was like, oh no.
See, that's why we've moved it early, so we can be done by 9:30 or 10, and you can go back and play a little bit before you go to bed. I mean, yeah.
Or we just still do it later, and I could play for a couple more. hours.
Well, I mean, it.
I should just hook it up here and just be like,
Six
yeah, guys,
of-
I'm totally listening.
6 of one, half dozen of another. I mean, it's. But yeah, I mean, you know,
I want to go back to throwing my axe around and like pulling it back to me. It's so much fun.
yeah.
The thud of when it hits your hand is so satisfying.
Yeah.
Now, you said last week that this was a game, like, if they made a Thor game, they just need to, like, give Kratos a cape, right? Like, and that's the
You
Thor
feel
game.
like Thor. 100%
Yeah.
you feel like Thor.
Yeah.
It's so much like anything you've seen in the Marvel movies where he's
Yeah.
like throwing, you know, it's an axe instead of a hammer, but you throw it and then return it back to you. You can throw it, leave it somewhere.
And you
for a long
can't fly.
time.
That's the only difference.
Oh, but you can stand in
So
the.
that
At least not
mechanic,
yet.
You
that
can-
mechanic is totally Thor.
you can
so
just
if
stand
you
in
wanna do
the-
that-
You can stand in the sanctum and wait for your umbrella to come while you're.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
different character.
Different character. Yeah. Have you not seen Thor Ragnarok, Matt? Have you not?
I have.
Oh,
I haven't.
dude, you gotta
I
go.
haven't.
Yeah, see that one.
I haven't seen like any of the Thor movies, but the first one, because I didn't like the Thor line. Like, nothing about Thor enchanted me enough to go watch them.
It's
That's why you
funny
need to
because
watch
I
Ragnarok.
hated
It's-
all the Thor movies except for Ragnarok, but love Thor in all the team up movies.
See,
Yeah.
I liked the first Thor movie. The second movie was meh. The
First
third
Thor
one was
movie's
really
okay.
good. Yeah, I mean, it
The
wasn't
third
like.
one is like, oh, okay, they're just letting them run with it and be as crazy as they want with what it
Mhm.
should be.
Well, and it's like when I came out of
We're
it.
not setting it in a small town this time.
Yeah, well, when I came out of Infinity War, it was kind of like, man, if you didn't go see Thor Ragnarok, that whole beginning, you're kind of going, what's going on? I
saw
don't
it, I'm
know.
like, I still forgot.
Yeah. Oh, see, we watched
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok two. Well, I have. I've watched it 2 or 3 times. There's lots of times that I'll be doing something in the house and I'll just put it on in the background because the music's good. The one-liners
Thor
are good.
Ragnarok is very.
You watch that, Robert?
Said I don't own it.
Oh, I own all of them. Those are the only movies I buy next to Star Wars. I just buy the Marvel movies
I
and
don't
Star
know all
Wars.
of
That's
them,
it.
But I definitely got Ragnarok because it's a fun movie.
Yeah, but
It's very much like Guardians of the Galaxy in that there's a lot more comedy in it than some of the other ones.
yeah. But that was all you've played, right, Robert? You didn't play anything else.
That's all I played.
Nathaniel, what about you? Still digging on Warframe? I'm guessing. When you're not playing?
I'd be further in God of War if I wasn't also playing some Warframe.
Well, then just stop playing Warframe for a little while. Didn't we have this discussion
let's-
about MMOs?
let's
and
Slow down some. I want to have like between from the last couple of weeks, I've wanted to do the God of Infinity Warframe. That's
Yeah.
my life. Just combine them all together that way. It kind of works.
Well, there you go.
Warframe's still pretty good. I've unlocked some more things. Keep going. I'm going. I got to Uranus is the next planet I'm at right now. I think.
Yeah. That's cool.
The way through the star map or something like that. I don't remember how many's after that.
Yeah. Well, we got a review code for Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles for the Switch, so I've been playing that. For some reason, there's an embargo and everything on it, so it's like, I'm like, why do you have an embargo on a game that's been out on every other system since like July? It's
I mean, it's the same game.
yeah, it's
just
exactly
on
the
Switch
same
now.
game. It's just on the Switch, but
And it still looks kind of as light and kind of dull to me. I don't like the art style because it's not as neat as people seem to think it is.
yeah, I mean, the art style's okay. This game is kind of like, I've only played a couple hours of it, so it's kind of like Zelda and Fable and Harvest Moon all in one. Maybe even a little Animal Crossing-ish.
Much more chill.
Yeah, it's way chill. You don't have a life bar. You don't have. I mean, it's nothing like that. I mean, I have not even found anything to attack, or nothing has attacked me, or, it's just kind of like, oh, I'm stranded on this island. Well, there's an old farm over here, man. You could go and open up and work at that. And it's like, okay, I'll go over there. It is a very chill game, and of course, I bought. This is the Police, or We Are the Police on the Switch. It was on sale on Amazon, so I picked it up to play it, of course. And then we got that review code in, so I haven't been able to start that one yet. So I bought it and went, no, let me stick it on the shelf. I got to play Yonder for, so. But yeah, I mean, what little bit of it I've played. I mean, yeah, the art style takes some getting used to. There's a day-night cycle. The one thing I haven't played it on the TV yet. I've only played it in handheld, and I am pretty sure that handheld is very, very, very scaled down. Probably for performance issues, I'm guessing. It doesn't even look like it's 720. It kind of looks like it's below that. It almost has I mean, it's not glitchy or anything like that. I'm not going to say it's like, it looks kind of like ROM did when it first came out on the Switch. It was very muted and kind of
Was it blurry?
Kind of blurry. Yeah. So I don't know if I haven't, like I said, I haven't come down here to put it in handheld or on the TV to see if it, what it looks like on the TV. But I actually emailed the PR people like, okay, what res is this thing running in handheld? Because I'm just kind of curious. Most 720p games look really good in handheld. There's no way this could be 720p, but and maybe it's one of those things where it'll be patched right before it comes out. I don't know. I mean, it comes out the 17th, I think. I think it comes out the 17th, and then it comes out the 15th on cart. So, which I had it pre-ordered anyway on physical, but
I thought about getting Yonder before on like PC or somewhere else when it first came out, and then I saw some more on it. I'm like, I hate how the character models look. They look so cheap.
Yeah.
It's not even like an art style thing. It's more of just like how they're modeled thing. It's just kind of like, could have made them look a little bit better.
I think if you could get past the way the art style looks, I think if you get past that, I think you would really like it, because like I said, it's very...
Other things have done that type of an art style much better. It's like Breath of the Wild, sort of, except Breath of the Wild is way better than
Yeah. And the minute you start playing it, it feels very Zelda-ish. And then when you start getting into actually doing things, it feels very Fable-ish. I can tell that they've taken nods from this and that. But it's like, what's funny is if I want to get from point A to point B, I jump off a cliff and like, maybe I'll lose a little life on a hit. Nope, little umbrella comes out and I, fall down to the ground.
I don't ever remember seeing anything about combat.
Nope.
I didn't think
there's no combat in it whatsoever, and
it's supposed to be a game to play and relax.
Yep, and it really is. It's a very relaxing game to play, and it's just a lot of fetch quests and things like that, which I mean is not a bad thing. I enjoy things like that. I mean, it's definitely more of a story-driven game with a little, Stardew Valley gardening, raising animals type of thing, and then you have your adventure over here, and you have this. But so far, I mean, it's a pretty neat game. It's different. I'll say that it's very different, and it's a lot of meshing of different genres of games together, which I kind of like. But I didn't play it on PS4 or anything like that when it first came out, or PC, so I didn't know. I knew it was coming to Switch at some point, so it's like, I'll just wait. There's other things I'm playing right then anyway, so it's like, I'll just wait till the Switch comes out.
I didn't even get there. It was more like when it came out, I was interested for a hot second, and then when I looked a little more into it, I was like, I have other things to play.
Yeah, well, we got the review code for the PS4, and I almost went, I'll play it. No, I'll let somebody else play it. I'll wait till it comes out on the Switch. So Matt, I saw your, how do you call that? Kerbal? I don't know. Kerbal? I don't know. I watched a lot of the stream the other night, and it was hilarious when you started making those cars to go like 500 miles an hour. That was...
Oh, yeah.
There was a couple of them that he just took off, and then all of a sudden the car would just go straight up in the air, and then it would take off like this, and then it would just go... You just see it explode. It was the funniest thing. I was laughing so hard at that. It was like hilarious.
I like the ones at the end where they would be going super fast, and they would just hit like a critical speed. They'd just be like flip, and they would just like flip almost perfectly back, but at like not quite 180 degrees, like 170 degrees, and then shoot off into the air, and then it would flip over again and like dive into the ground and then flip over it. Like it was nuts.
I think the best one was where you hit the lights at the end of the runway. I mean, he was just. Yeah. I mean, it was like, ooh, he's going to go straight into the water. It's going to be perfect, and all of a sudden he just goes bam, and just hits the lights, and the car just explodes. It was
just complete devastation. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, no, it was great. One of the viewers came on and was like, "Hey, you should do the speed challenges." And I'm like, "I have never heard of these speed challenges." And they're like, "Oh yeah, what you do is you go and like there's I forget what it's called. Like there's a hangar and like a landing strip that you can take off and land on.
Yeah.
And like you go on that, and you just try to build like a rocket car, and you just try to hit 500 meters per second, and that's it. And so trying to hit that was crazy because it actually takes a lot more effort than what I was assuming.
That first one you did when and that car just was fishtailing like nobody's business, just all the way.
But and then like it was, I didn't even do anything really. I think I played like one story mission in the beginning, which was just like whoop-de-doo just to see it, because they have like a new DLC that came out like a month ago, 2 months ago, that I finally got around to buying, and that was solid. Pick it up for the game if you haven't yet. But yeah, apparently there's just a whole community that I have been ignoring, wrongfully so, and I need to get in on that because it was just dumb fun.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. It was absolutely fun to watch, and it made me want to go buy the game. I was like, I want to do this. I want to build these rocket cars and watch them explode.
It's like it's the fun of having Legos with the fun of explosions.
Yeah, it was perfect.
But let's see, and I'll probably be playing that later this week, just because I'm starting to get back into it. What else have I played this week? I played a little bit of Overwatch. The new competitive season started, and then I think for the Overwatch League, they're getting ready to do their season 3 finale this week, I want to say. Yeah, they switched up to some sort of more tournament-like structure. I don't know. I haven't been following that close.
I haven't seen anything about it. I don't keep up with the Overwatch stuff. So
they released a new hero. They released a new hero recently, and they just put that hero from quick play into competitive, and so everyone was like, they need balancing, and it's like, no, is the character powerful? Yes, but it's more like people didn't know how to react to the character, and so it like you play it and you can just wreck with the character at first because everyone would just kind of see the character go and run away, and that character loves it when you do that because it stun you and then like beat your brains in, and then when you try to run away they have like a distance beat your brains in, and so there's just nothing you can do. But people have started to realize like, oh wait, if you just shoot their shields then they can't do anything, and it just like ruins everything about their character. So people are getting used to it.
Which doesn't surprise me. That's usually the way it is when they introduce a new character. I don't know why everybody flips out when it's like, it's not that big a deal. You'll figure it out. Everybody always does.
Yeah. And it's just going to happen more and more as they do that, because I think they said they wanted to do characters over maps, and everyone thought it was going to be maps instead of characters. As far as like them trying to release things, because there's skins and loot boxes to be had in new characters, not so much with new maps. And then the last thing I did was D&D this week. That's still stupid fun, still amazing. Totally get a group of people and play it. Just do it. It doesn't matter.
We've had a game going for, I don't know, maybe a year now? Year and a couple months?
Nice. What do you guys play? 5th edition? Or...
I have no idea. I don't worry about it. I just show up. I get home from work and they're already here. And I'm just like, alright, let's do this. My guess is 5th edition. It sounds familiar.
Probably.
Yeah, and it's just like...
There's different editions?
I just come in and throw the dice down. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Give me a 5!
I roll for it.
I thought we were gambling.
They've been taking money every week, but nobody else seems to be putting any money in. I don't know.
This is
so
a dice
weird.
poker? What?
I thought this was some sort of like Asian gambling game. Anyways, some sort of foreign, I don't know. But yeah, no, it's those are 3 games I've been playing. I think I might get back into World of Warcraft this week. So
yeah, we were talking about that.
Fortune.
And are they giving away the latest expansion for free if I re-up?
no.
See, I'm not going to go out and spend that much money on them.
You get a free. So if you pay it's like $40 to get the base edition.
Yeah.
Whatever. But if you do that, then you also get the character tokens, and so it lets you instantly take one of your characters and put them at level 110. So you only have to do the last 10 levels to get to the current in game.
And that would be fine if I was going on another server, maybe. But I've got I don't know what the max you can have on a server is, but I've got all those characters maxed out on another server. It's like I don't know. I like to wait until right before the new expansion comes out, and they give you the old expansion for free.
It comes out August, I think.
Well, then probably here in the next month and a half, they'll probably be saying, "Oh, well, we'll give you the new expansion or the old expansion
Please
for free."
don't play.
They'll send me an email. They always do. That's how I got the expansion before last. They just sent me a message and said, "Hey, we gave you the the latest expansion for free. You're more than welcome to come back and resub up and play." And I'm like, "Nah, I might." Even though it's really weird, I got an email from Blizzard this afternoon. It says, "Here's your token." I'm like,
Nice.
I didn't log in. Somebody's trying to log into my account. What's going on? Between it and my Epic account, because apparently the spammers are trying to steal, Fortnite.
My Epic account, and I haven't even played Battle Royale.
Because you play
on
Fortnite
that.
all the time?
Nope, I haven't. I've never played it. I've never even played it. But there for like 3 weeks straight, every day I was getting, "We've locked your account because you've had X amount of attempts to get in." So I'm guessing that hackers or somebody is trying to hack into accounts. I don't know. I've had to go 2-factor authentication on everything, Amazon and this, because I've gotten emails where people trying to get my Amazon account. I'm like, "Oh no, don't go in there." 'Cause that's got everything.
Hey, 2-factor is good.
Yeah.
It's really not that much more annoying to log in with it than it
No.
is normally, and it keeps it a little bit more secure.
I feel sorry for the wife sometimes for me. Like, I was out working the other day, and I kept getting messages on my little authenticator app going, "Here's your authenticator code," and I'm like, "I'm working. I'm not the one trying to log into the Amazon account." So then I'm like, send a text message to the wife. "Are you trying to log into the Amazon account?" "Yes, I am." "Okay, I just want to make sure." Or,
"Here's your code."
"Yeah, here's your code." Well, she's got the app on her thing, and I don't know. I know I had to do 2-factor on the Twitch account when we got affiliate, so I had to get Matt with the app. So I don't know if he gets anything about Amazon codes too, because it's all on the same app. So it's well, that's good, because I feel sorry at 3 o'clock in the morning when I log on to Amazon and it asks me to authenticate something, and it's like phones are going off all over the country with that app.
I think you can turn off the notifications for that.
Oh, that's good.
It's like, I only get it for the Twitch ones.
It was like the other day, Nikki tried to log in 3 different times, and I got 3 messages within 15 minutes. It's like, who is hitting this account? Because I'm about to get pissed off. And then it was like, "Oh, it's just me." "Okay, well, that's fine. We're all good then." But, yeah, it's like, geez, I understand, but why people gotta just leave stuff alone? You're killing me with this authentication stuff. It's just a pain in my butt. But
And apparently then, like, I was reading, apparently 2-factor, while better than 1-factor, cell phones are still apparently easy to get the codes sent to something else.
I'm
with
sure.
Moderate amount of knowledge. So it's like, it's quickly starting to become out of date again.
I just wish, I don't know if I've got it here. I've still got key tokens for World of Warcraft, and there are actual fobs.
When they did the Blizzard Authenticator thing.
I've got them for, I've still got, I don't know where it's at.
I had that for Star Wars
Uh-huh.
The Republic
Yep.
and for Final Fantasy 14.
Yep, I had it for all of them too, and I've got them all here in
love
a
those
drawer
things.
somewhere. But
I mean, I guess they're cool. Like, if nothing else, they're cool novelty stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, like here's this thing that used to contact Blizzard and do stuff.
well, I mean, I guess it still technically works. I guess I don't know. I haven't used them in so long because once they brought the app out for the phone, I just started using the phone. But I don't know. We all need to go back to that. Instead of having a keychain with a bunch of little store cards on it for, we got a keychain with nothing but little key fobs for every site that we go to. Okay, let's see. Here's my Amazon fob, my World of Warcraft fob.
I don't have anything on my keychain except for
I don't either.
The little guy from Crash Bandicoot.
I don't even have that. I've got 3 keys and that's it. That's all I got. I took all that crap
I don't
off.
like a lot of stuff on my keys.
Well, I don't either. It wears your keys out because of the weight. If you have too much on it, the weight and pulling the key in and out of the ignition, it actually wears things out. But that's I carry.
Your car's a push start, right? So you don't have to worry about that.
Mine's not a push start.
Well, the new car.
I'm not. Oh well. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't afford to buy a new car every year.
Push start, John. You probably have to get out.
Push it down a hill.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like,
It's just a little button.
I mean, technically, it's push start, I guess, but I don't know. I haven't bought a new car in probably 4 or 5 years. I buy used cars now because they're cheaper. Of course, we usually buy Fords, but I don't buy Ford cars, so I don't have to worry about it since they're not making cars anymore.
They're making 2. They're making the Mustang and the Focus Active, or whatever that is.
The tiny Focus car.
Yeah, we used to have a Focus till I ran it in underneath a Jeep. Then we got rid of it because I ran it in underneath a Jeep. But anyway, we'll get into the news. There's not too much to talk about. God of War sold over 3 million copies worldwide, and after 3 days of being available, so April 20th, 21st, and 22nd, they sold 3 million copies.
Yeah, so seeing what was it?
It's really good.
Horizon Zero Dawn lifetime is 8 million or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something like that.
It's really
7 or 8.
It's like some records for new IP for Sony or something, but it just goes to show you get a powerhouse name from the past that's been gone for a while, get enough hype built behind it, and it's actually a good game.
Yep.
It's sell a lot really quick.
Yeah, it's actually their fastest selling PS4 exclusive. Horizon Zero Dawn 7.6 million in 1 year. So yeah, I think God of War will probably get there in a month. Maybe 2. We'll say 2, but it'll probably be quicker.
It's benefiting from all the people who are already God of War fans, and then the reviews coming out early enough, and it just being across the board, people saying, "Hey, this is a really good game," and word of mouth on now where people are playing it and telling their friends, "Hey, you should play this. It's definitely gonna have legs."
Yeah, absolutely.
It's also, from what I've been reading, been a re-system seller. I guess people buying pros just to experience it in 4K.
And and that's
it looks really good on my normal PS4. So
I don't know. I've seen comparison videos and pictures of 4K on the Pro and then regular, and I just don't see that big of a difference.
Actually, it's not the 4K so much as it is the HDR.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it is.
And you can't really show that in a video.
Yeah, because it's all
HDR enabled. So
right.
On your monitor or TV.
I don't know.
Give you a much better I can see how it would make that game look really good because it's a game that has a lot of darkness and light as far as just contrast goes and a big range of it. So if you had the HDR enabled, it would probably be pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know we talked. I think we talked about it on the last show. The Neo Geo Mini. Apparently, there's been some leaked information about it. Don't know how true it is or anything like that, but it sounds like it's going to have 40 built-in games, including 5 King of Fighters, 3 Metal Slugs. What's cool about it is it has a 3.5-inch LCD in it, and it has a built-in joystick. It looks kind of like a very, very small arcade machine with 4 buttons and the knob. Hopefully,
we need to get a bunch of people to make things like this so we can have a chibi arcade.
Yeah, really. Yeah, absolutely.
It looks like they took an arcade machine and did the same thing. You for chibi character, just whoop, make it cute.
Yep, make it cute. It does have. It apparently has HDMI out and AV out so you can hook it up directly to the TV.
Nice.
Joypad ports on each side. Now, the thing about it is the rumor shows the Sync or the SNK Neo Geo controllers from like I think those are the CD system controllers. I don't know if those are like controllers they sell separately, or if it uses the classic, or if it'll use maybe any USB. The image really is kind of hard to tell. It looks like it's a proprietary control port, like a 24 pin or whatever they call that. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I would think that they would just use a USB so you can use any controller instead of having to buy a controller. The rumor, the price of it is going to be around $100. If it's all true. And if it is true, it's pretty cool. I want to know if you could play on the screen with one player and then on the TV with a second player. Have true split screen. True split screen, so you can stick your buddy down on the 3.5-inch screen while you're playing on the 50-inch screen. Yeah, really. I mean, it's a cool little thing. If it's $100, I don't know if it's too expensive. The Super Nintendo Classic was $80, and that was about as high as I'll go on something like that.
I think that's still too high.
Yeah, well, it actually dropped. It actually dropped. I think now it's $70. I saw somebody drop the price of them, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, but it does look really cool. I like the little tabletop arcade style thing. But like I say, we don't know 100% if it's.
From the look of it, though, I wonder how easy it is to actually play it that way and still see the screen with your hand on that tiny joystick and the other on the buttons. It's like, wait, where? I can't see. My knuckles are in the way.
Yeah, I know with my hands it's not going to happen because my hands are huge. So if my hands would take up like half of that screen. So yeah, but I mean, it's still a cool idea. And if it's hopefully the emulation is really good. They've brought out some Neo Geo stuff in the past that are officially from SNK, and the emulation has not been real good. So especially if they're going to want about $100 for this, hopefully it's good emulation. But we'll see. Xbox backwards compatibility playtime nears 1 billion hours. Microsoft also revealed that there are over 200 Xbox One X enhanced games now. A lot of those are 360 and original Xbox. They
have the backwards compatibility out.
Let's see. I don't.
1 billion hours over how many? Is it like a year and a half?
I don't.
2 years now? I can't remember exactly when they implemented it.
I can't remember either. I want to say it's at least over a year, maybe a year and a half. Yeah. I think this E3 will be the 2-year when they announced it. I think, if I remember right. But yeah, I mean,
I'm so bad with time. It could have been like 4 years ago.
It could have been, yeah. I mean, I barely remember what I did 3 days ago, so it's like, who knows? If I don't write stuff down, I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, and that's the funny thing is, if I boot up my Xbox One, I think I've got somewhere close to 300 games, but I would say half of them are 360 and original Xbox games that I have installed on it, and I haven't even installed all my games that I own that are backwards compatible. It is a really cool thing, though, because some of those, I've downloaded a lot of the original Xbox games just to try them out, and they run so good on the Xbox One. I can't imagine how they run on the Xbox One X, because some of them are even a little more enhanced with, like, 16 times oversampling instead of the 8 that the S does. So I can only imagine what they look like on the X. Maybe almost the point where they look too clean. I don't know. But
you can see all the bad stuff.
Yeah, it's like, but I mean, like, I played Elder Scrolls the other day just for a little while. And I haven't played it since the original Xbox, and the load times were so long on the original Xbox. You could go change an area, get up, go to the bathroom, come back, sit down, and still sit there for another 2 minutes before the area would actually load. And it's just like, oh, now it's just like...
Even it took them that game and then Oblivion and then Skyrim to make it semi-tolerable, and it's still even long on console. Just that engine does not go for short load times at all.
Well, I tell you what, though, now with it on the Xbox One, holy fright, it is so quick, it's unbelievable. But it's very, very cool, and then it's nice to see people playing I say old games. 360 games are not old to me, but it's very cool that a lot of people are using backwards compatible.
Still had games.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, I'll go buy this couple of games I missed out on from GameStop for a few bucks and go play them on my Xbox One.
Yeah, well, and GameStop's have been having a lot of buy two get one free on old stuff, trying to clear out inventory and stuff like that. And then when a backwards compatibility game comes up, Microsoft always runs a really good sale on it on the store. So, for $10, some of them are less than $10. So, if a game that comes out that you've never played before and it's backwards compatible with enhanced loading times and some enhanced graphics, for $10, yeah, why not? If you don't have a ton of stuff to play. And if you're solely an Xbox One,
on Xbox, you don't.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just going to say. If you're solely on Xbox, you may not have a lot to play. So
that's the stat we need: the 1 billion hours of backwards compatible games played over how much time that is. Compare that to new games in the same amount of time. Is there more backwards compatible play time or new game play time?
Exactly.
I wonder if where these hours are coming from, though. Is it coming from the United States, or is it coming from someplace like Brazil or something, to where I don't think they get people there don't buy as many new games because of the budget concerns.
Right.
But if you have a backwards compatible console, you might upgrade for that, so you get the extra little bit of 4K stuff, but still keep all your old games because you still have all that.
Yeah, it would be kind of interesting to see a breakdown of how many hours here and here and here and here, because you're right, in a lot of those countries.
Pretty well.
What's that?
I said I bet it's spread out pretty well.
I'm sure.
More concentration in certain areas, but I bet all across the board of wherever Xbox Ones exist, there's people at least playing a game or two. If you spread that out, someone plays a game or two, you've already got a good chunk of hours out of that, depending on how long the games are. So.
Exactly. Well, and you're right though.
People who are just like, I'm gonna play everything.
Yeah, and you're right. In some cases, it is. In other countries, it is a budget thing because some games are way more expensive in other countries than they are, in the U.S. And we think games are expensive here. So.
Looking at you, Australia.
Australia especially. Oh my Lord, I can't imagine. Morgan, who writes for us, lives in Australia, and me and her talk off in private on Slack about cost of games over there, and it's unbelievable how much tariff they put on that stuff to make it super expensive. But if you want to play it, that's what you have to do. I mean, it's. Red Dead Redemption 2, new trailer came out this week, and I can't wait till October rolls around. This game is going to be so much fun.
It's a monster.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's reminding me of the trailers that were coming out before the first game and how good that looked at the time. And this is just kind of the same thing. Of oh wow, I'm really in the mood to play this game again.
Yeah, I know. It's I've got it on. I've got it backwards compatible on Xbox One, and it's just like, man, I really want to go back and play it again. The more I see this and see these pictures and the new trailers, I want to go play it. But
it looks just as good as any of the come out, on the systems to this point. Maybe even better in some aspects. And it's an open world game. They usually don't look quite as good. Man, Rockstar squeezes everything out of it.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see. They haven't said in the trailers if that is Xbox One X or PS Pro video, or if it's PS4 and regular Xbox One, or if it's the upgraded one. I'm kind of anxious to see.
From the trailer, I don't know. I do know that the IGN thing where they got to see a 45-minute demo.
Yeah.
That it was running on a regular console.
No, okay. Well, maybe the trailer and stuff is.
But the trailers usually would be the highest, I would say.
I would think.
Probably the trailer.
But still, I if it's one of those games like God of War where you look at both of them and go, I don't, these both look really good. So,
I'm going to say that it's probably going to look just fine on your regular one.
Oh, yeah.
Rockstar has plenty of money to throw at the engineering of it so that it'll look good everywhere anyone's going
to I have no concerns that it'll look good.
But the thing that caught my eye in the trailer, you saw a younger John Marston in there, which we assume that's who it was. He had the scars to go along with the markings and stuff. Yeah, I'll have the okay. See, I never even knew if they.
From what they're saying, is it sounds like he's going to be just kind of like one of the other people in the gang. He's just sort of there. This is not his story. This is the main. I forget the name of the character you're acting on, his story.
Yeah.
And they're saying it's kind of a companion piece to the first game versus like a straight up like prequel. So I'd bet that Marston's probably like an extended cameo if this were a movie. So he'll be in it enough that you'll interact with him some, but it won't be like, hey, this is how I came to be for the first game. It's going to be a little more focused elsewhere.
Yeah.
Record scratch. So you're probably asking how I got here.
I think this is about, what is it, 10 or 11 years before the first game, at least? Something like that?
Yeah, I don't remember. Something like that there.
I've forgotten again, but it's somewhere at least 10 years.
Let's see, it's 1899 was when this one the new one takes place. I can't remember when the old one took place. Like 1911 or something, yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, it was early 19s. That's I do remember that, but yeah, so.
I looked it up because I couldn't remember, and now I've forgotten again.
Yeah, I can't either. But yeah, it looks. Yeah, I can't wait.
That trailer is so pretty looking, and you can tell some of the shots are definitely sort of like gameplay, where they just took the HUD out. There's at least a few of those in there. My favorite shot is the one quick shot of like the town.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
Walking around.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the town in the first game, but it's just like way more detailed now. I was just like,
yeah.
Oh man, what can they put in there? Because there were so many details in the first game that they did. For
the,
technology they had at the time. Now that we're like way further down the road,
I tell you,
I can't wait to get in there and live in the Western West again.
Go on. I think it's Digital Press that does the real in-depth videos on graphic comparisons, and look
Digital Foundry?
Digital Foundry. That's it, Foundry. I couldn't remember who there was, but look up their comparison to Red Dead Redemption running on the Xbox One S and then running on the Xbox One X, and look at the difference of them. It'll blow your mind how much the X makes that old game look so clear. It's like if you never played it,
up the resolution. On it.
Oh yeah,
that's probably part of it because get rid of just from that, get rid of some of the jaggies. You can see a lot more of the detail.
Yeah, the distance is a lot better, and
detail already.
Yeah, but go
bringing it up. That's why I've wanted a PC port for years.
Yeah,
I still haven't done it.
Yeah,
we're going at this point.
Go look it up and watch it just to see those. It just blows your mind how much detail they could pull out of that old game, and then you compare it to the new one. You're just like, wow. I mean, it's.
I don't know. Did any of you guys watch the first look Red Dead thing on IGN? It's like a 17-minute. Plus, there's a big, lengthy article again. So the most interesting thing, there's some stuff in there that they're talking about. Hey, they're doing this and this, and hey, they're trying to put in more detail than ever before, and all the NPCs have schedules. That's lots of games have done that. Like
Shenmue.
Yeah, like if you're doing a more detailed one because you have more data put in there, so they're not just walking back and forth between like 3 things, then sure, but whatever. But the cool thing is how they're treating the horse this time.
Yeah.
You have to actually like. It sounded a lot like Breath of the Wild in that you start with a horse, and the more time you spend with it, you kind of build a relationship with it, and it will be less skittish when enemies are around. But also what I like about it is it's kind of your luggage hauler. So if your horse gets scared and runs away, a lot of your good stuff, like your big guns, that deer that you're hauling back to camp, is all going to be gone because your horse ran away. And you have to go track it down. Apparently, it's also supposed to be possible for your horse to get killed if you don't have.
Oh wow!
So, what is it? It's like something about like things having to cost to mean something. I forget the exact phrase that they used.
Yeah.
It's one of the philosophies that they were looking at in this game, because there's some bits of like interview that they did with the Rockstar in this article as well. Everything they're saying was just making me more excited.
Oh yeah.
So does that mean they're just gonna have like they're not just gonna have like cougars spring up out of the bushes all of a sudden and like instantly get your horse every day?
It wouldn't be a Red Dead game if there weren't ninja cougars killing you all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to have the ninja
and
cougars.
Bears.
Yeah, don't forget the bears. You gotta have the bears. The bears.
I mean, there's gonna be hunting and stuff in this game again. It's just gonna be, it's gonna have a little bit of a different feel than the first game, I think, as far as just how the systems work. They didn't want to do just the exact same thing again. But
yeah.
I like also that it's gonna feel a little bit more like a GTA, in that you're kind of telling a villain's story.
Yeah.
And because John was many things, but he wasn't a villain in the first game.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he was maybe anti-hero could be the highest that you'd put it up depending on how you played. Like if you're tying people to railroad tracks all the time, maybe he's not as good as other way. Someone else is playing it a little more goody two shoes.
Well, I mean, it was truly a redemption story. You know, I mean, it lived up to the title. It was a redemption story. So, I mean, but yeah, you could be as bad as you wanted to be.
He wasn't the Lone Ranger.
No.
Side of it, but he wasn't, like complete black hat, twirly mustache villain.
Right? Yeah.
In the middle. Right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
This game, I think, is gonna maybe skew more towards being able to do some of the villainish type stuff, like they show off. In this demo, they did like a bank heist or something.
Man,
a lot more of that in this game will be great.
Let me tell you something.
I think they're supposed to put the heist from GTA in this game. And just,
that's exactly what I was going to say.
That's gonna be great.
I was totally going to say that if they don't put the heist from GTA in that you can play online with a bunch of friends. Oh, you will never get me off that game because I'll be like, let's all rob some banks. We gotta go rob some banks.
Go rob the train. Go rob the stage.
Yeah, and Matt will have to get a PS4 because that's where I'll be playing it at. So you'll have to go buy one.
You can see the through line. You can see some of the stuff they did with Red Dead Redemption and the online free roam mode they had in that, and a few of the just hang out, let's play cards kind of stuff. That's been evolved into some of the things that they did with GTA Online now, and then they've added so much into that's going to feed into what they're doing with Red Dead Redemption, and it's just going to keep going with every horror game they make.
Yeah.
That they have to adapt it to be a little bit different to fit the specific game, but a lot of kind of the underlying things I bet are going to show up because it's like what makes a Rockstar game a Rockstar game. Kind of like you look for towers in a Ubisoft game because that's kind of their flavor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, and that's. Go ahead, man.
My only worry about Red Dead 2 is that they're going to take their GTA 5 wildly successful lessons, and they're going to release single player, maybe a couple of bug fixes, and then they're just going to put everything else they have in online and just focus on online. And it's going to be like the game's going to come out, it's going to be good, we're going to get a lot of good story from it, we're going to get a lot of fun machinima videos or whatever they're called. But I'm worried that we're not going to get those nice, fun DLCs like in the first one.
The first game had one.
But
there's a couple free things for online, but story single player stuff was just one big expansion. So
yeah,
still
they
awesome.
did that again where they have the main game, and then I think it was quite a while before that even came out. But if they did some sort of weird. Spin on the world again, where it's it's suddenly a zombie movie. That could be cool.
This time, aliens.
We
did zombies last time. You got to do cowboys and aliens this time.
If they do that, where it's the same tone, where it's we're turning this into just a goofy movie feel to it, versus we're trying to be serious with the main game, but then the expansion is just let's be silly. I'm down for that.
Oh yeah, I am too.
It was great with the zombies. Just do it with aliens or something else.
I don't know. I think you'll have a good mix of single player DLC and multiplayer DLC. I think. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Well,
they promised us DLC for the single player for GTA.
Well, yeah, they did. That's true. I don't know.
I don't know that Red Dead is going to be as big of a money maker for them for the online.
Yeah.
As GTA.
I think
there'll be plenty of people playing it for a while, but I don't think it will last as long as GTA.
Yeah, I think so.
I would agree with that purely because, the modern times lends itself to more different stuff you can buy.
Yeah.
But there's only so many different types of horses you can buy. Maybe you get a train, but
Well, okay,
cares?
look at GTA where they've added some of the crazier stuff, like the racetracks that go through the sky and all that. What if they had horses with rocket packs on? Just because. I don't know what that would be like.
That's the title of the show: Horses with Rocket
Packs. Now I'm
Packs.
imagining the trailer with all those nice vistas, except now there's UFOs flying by. Just because you said aliens. It suddenly turns into an X-Files game, and Mulder and Scully show up. How did we get transported to the Old West? Oh, I don't know. Aliens.
Sorry, I had to write that down. That's the title of the show. Horses with Rocket Packs.
I would play it.
It shouldn't work.
Oh, I would play it. Oh, yeah, I would play it. I would totally play it.
You get the little horse, it's just
Yeah.
Or what if he's riding around on just like a little toy horse the whole time as a DLC? Pay $1, ride a toy horse.
That would be
The Monty
hilarious.
Python pack.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
It's instead of a horse, it's you just like doing a motion, and then someone following you with coconuts. Like you could be creative if you wanted to. There's plenty of goofy stuff you could do. It's just, what will Rockstar do is more of the question.
Exactly.
How
Apparel.
weird are they allowed to get with the Western?
Yeah, exactly. So there's been some claims filed against the Switch for infringing on patents. Apparently, GameVice, they make attachable controllers for iOS and Android phones. They've filed a complaint claiming that the importation of Switch consoles to America's shores infringes on their patents. Yeah, I'm not totally buying it.
Either it will go away because it has nothing, or maybe Nintendo will pay them a settlement, but whatever.
I think it's
Like,
just...
hey, here's a popular thing that's kind of like our thing. It's close enough, we might as well sue, and maybe we'll get like...
Yeah. Hey, Nintendo sold 17 million units of the Switch. I think we could just get enough copyright infringement that they'll just pay us some money because our thing doesn't sell really that well and nobody cares. I think that's exactly what it is.
I mean, if you look at theirs, theirs is just the attachment things. It's not like a whole thing.
Exactly.
Switch, right?
Yeah.
So, and it also didn't look like it even attaches the same as the Nintendo's. It sort of like goes over the side, kind of like a
I
Lego
think that-
piece.
Yeah.
It's just sliding on the rail, like the Switch does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly
It
what
just-
it is. It just kind of
So it's
hangs
like-
out on either side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got controller things on the side of a tablet-like thing, but that doesn't mean that it's the exact same thing as the Switch either.
Yeah. I don't know. It just
I'm
seems...
sure there's some technical detail I'm not aware of that they're trying to get it on, like, oh, this circuit is the same or something, but whatever.
I think they're trying to get it on the overly broad patent system. But
I mean, you know.
Nintendo gets sued. Nintendo gets sued by some ridiculous little no-name patent troll company every time they release a console.
Yeah.
Like, oh, your controller's square. We have a patent on that. Oh, you have a motion thing.
Well,
Patent on that.
and
Oh,
when,
you have an attachable gyroscope. Patent on that. Like, nothing ever happened.
Well, when I first saw the headline, I thought, oh, it's that Chinese company that makes that system that does look an awful lot like a Switch, but it's not even them. It's like, I'm like, what? It's some what?
It's just a mobile controller.
Yeah,
that
so,
calls your phone or tablet.
I don't know. It was so weird. But anyway, I just thought that was funny because, you know, it'll so go away before long. So, and the last story I put in here, I don't know. It's just a patent that Sony filed. A lot of people are thinking that maybe PlayStation could be getting activation keys. You know, it's a patent they filed called a blockchain-based digital rights management. They filed it on April 26th. I don't know what that has to do with anything. You know, it may not even be anything that ever comes to PS4 or a PlayStation console. It may just be a patent that they filed. This happens all the time where they just file patents for things so nobody else could ever get them, and they never, ever use them. Nintendo does it all the time. They are sitting on so many patents for things that they had never, ever put out or produced. It's ridiculous. But I could... You know, maybe the PS5 games would be something like that. I don't see it happening. You know, this is kind of what Microsoft wanted to do when the Xbox originally came out, that it had an activation code so you wouldn't have to use the disc in the drive. But that made the reselling of that game kind of obsolete because you'd have to buy a new code for it to work in another console, and everybody pitched a fit. So I don't see...
Well, maybe they've found a way that if you uninstall it, it reactivates the code and you can go and sell your game.
Maybe. I mean, who knows? I don't know. It's a big, long article. I put a link in the show notes with all this breakdown of exactly the exact patent they filed, and there's 4 bullet points. I'm not going to read it all on here, but if you want to read that, you can go to the thing.
I read it and thought, I'm dumping a whole bag of salt on this one.
Yeah, I mean...
It seems like, I don't know. It doesn't seem... If everybody was reporting on it, then it'd be one thing, but if it's this small site talking about this thing. It's like, okay, maybe even if it's true, I don't know that Sony will ever do anything with it. Right?
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Everybody would be up in arms on it already.
I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, if it was something that they were going to do, I don't know. It's like I was okay with that on the Xbox because I would rather have them. You know, you got to download the whole game anyway. I would much rather just download the whole game and never have to put that disc in there. You know, my brother-in-law has a PS4 that he barely used, and the disc drive went bad in it. The Blu-ray drive went bad in it. And I'm like, the only time I ever use my Blu-ray drive is if I actually buy a game and have to install it. Most of the time, it's a review code that I don't even. My hard drive gets more work than the disc drive gets. You know, like Yakuza 6, I bought it. I got a review code for it, but I bought the game. It's never going in the system unless the hard drive goes bad and there's no internet anymore. It's the only way it's ever gonna be played. But I don't know. It just seemed kind of weird and strange. And yes, Matt, I saw Destiny 2 with the Warmind updates coming out.
Hey, guess what? It's not quite out yet as of this recording, and people have already been ranting about it.
Yeah,
I love it.
So
the podcast I listened to had a whole long rant about how they hated that this one. They had a bunch of community people come out and have a meeting with Bungie or whatever and talk about stuff that they wanted in the game and all this stuff right before this one. But none of that is going to be in this expansion. It's going to be one coming later in the fall. It's so people are so mad.
Yeah, it's so there's the Warmind DLC coming out this week, and that is just another House of Wolves scale DLC. Where it adds a couple it's not huge. It's small. But
now is that one of the paid DLCs that is in the season pass?
I think this is the second included DLC that came with the season.
See, that crap just makes my butt want to chew tobacco. I mean, that just really.
What? Let's roll that back for a second. What?
No. Have you ever heard that?
The title.
Jeez.
My butt chews tobacco.
That just makes me. You never heard that before? Oh my gosh! It absolutely.
Right there. Butt chews tobacco.
I don't. That if it's a House of Wolves type thing and that's part of the season pass paid DLC, that is bull crap because that is nothing. That is nothing but just filler DLC is all that is.
Yeah, it's that's what it is. It's that level of stuff, and they're taking the time to address some small immediate concerns. For the game, but they're not doing anything huge until they're taking king-sized DLC into quarter 3, beginning of quarter 4 this year, I think.
See,
which is a huge bummer, but is also a sign that if people have been waiting to get on, they can wait till that time to see if it's worth getting on or not.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's not worth it.
No.
At this point, even if the thing in the fall is really great and awesome, not worth it. Play Warframe. It's better.
Well, but see, here's the thing. It might be worth it at that time, but I don't think it'll ever be $100 worth it.
It's not worth it because Bungie and Activision are working on it, and they're terrible with the community to this point. From,
they are.
I've learned from doing the first Destiny that eventually they got sort of there, and then they're just doing Destiny 2 worse. They're just doing so much to anger everyone.
Yeah.
When there's other games out there where the developers care about their customers and their player base and their community more than they do. We have to make every single little dollar that we can because we're Activision.
Well, and this is one of the reasons why I quit playing Destiny. I mean, after I played Destiny 2 from Destiny 1, and it wasn't that big of a jump for me as far as story and quality and this and that, I'm like, why am I doing this all over again? It just.
I mean, Destiny 2 looks pretty enough.
Oh yeah, I mean it does, but I mean, it was just rinse and repeat.
It felt like the exact same game.
Right?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. I'm certainly not a Destiny 2 apologist. The game has been a literal joke and a meme. Just it has been. It started out fun, And like, if you only wanted to play Destiny 2 for about 50 hours, it's a great game.
And then about 30.
And then after that, well, but
I played it for 10.
I had fun.
I played it for 10. I didn't even play it
play
for
the first one. So,
yeah.
You know,
Still haven't
that
beat it.
lasted longer, right?
Yeah.
Like, but then after that, it just drops down to nothing. It's just like the PvP wasn't there, the PvE wasn't there, the end game wasn't there. There was no difference in enemies. There was no. They took several steps backwards. The development release schedule was not there. Like, they couldn't do bi-monthly bug fixes. Like, it was just silly what they had done to the game. They have addressed some of those issues. I'm not going to say all those issues. They have a plan in place to fix almost all the issues and add a little bit by the end of this year. Whether or not they deliver is a thing entirely. Whether or not it's worth getting at that time is something else. And certainly, don't buy, like, I cannot stress, don't buy this DLC day one. Just don't. It doesn't matter if everyone's like, the game is manna from heaven. Like, wait like a week or two after the games come out and people have actually played it and the shiny, like, rose-tinted goggles have worn off, and then you'll see it, because that's how they got everybody from Xbox to PC. You had like a solid month of time difference. Was just enough time for your average gamer to realize there's no content. So you play for the month on Xbox, you're like, wow, there's stuff here, and then you play for the month on PC, and you play for another week, and then after that there's nothing, and you're just like, oh, I shouldn't have bought it on PC.
Yeah.
And so,
instead of spending money on this crap, go play Warframe for free. It has a lot of the same things that you like about Destiny.
Or just play
and more, man.
Any other game or anything.
Yeah.
By the time that rolls out in the fall, there's going to be so much good games. Spider-Man, you're going to have Red Dead, you're going to have your Battlefield, you're going to have your Call of Duty, you're going to have.
We have another Battlefield game coming out?
And didn't that come out this fall?
There's a Battlefield 2018.
Okay.
They haven't said what it will be yet,
all right.
but I'm assuming it's going to happen.
I just want, like, the 2243, whatever, the one with the Titans. Give me that.
I would like that, but I don't think they're going to do that.
No, of course they won't.
Rumor is it's going to be World War II, but we shall see.
It's like they're afraid to innovate again. But
I want to shoot Nazis.
No, they innovated a lot by going back to
They did.
World War I.
Yeah, they really did.
In there, and they changed a lot of, like, the systems and stuff between games. But yeah,
Wait,
they've had way more success with the modern military version stuff of that game than they ever did with 2142. So and especially with how futuristic Call of Duty got treated, I don't think they're going to be doing that anytime soon.
Well, yeah, but
anyway,
also because they're like completely different types of games.
Yeah.
And also, it gets to be a
that's-
bigger behemoth, and the bigger a behemoth gets, the harder it is to change it and do something wildly out of direction. They tried it sort of with Hardline, and that was a no-go.
Yeah.
So they're going to be a little bit more risk-averse, especially with the success of Battlefield 1. I would be not surprised if it was a World War II game.
Yeah. But anyway, back to Destiny.
Really?
But I don't know. I mean, I have not booted that game up on the PS4 since the month after it launched. I played the main story, and then afterwards realized there was nothing else to do and beat that main story in however many 5 hours, 6 hours, however. And then it was just like, you know what? I'm out, guys. Sorry, I'm not interested in this. There's much more. And and even my hardcore friends who played it the first one every day for 1,000 hours that first year, even when they have quit, there is a serious problem with that game, because they were all invested, and they would give me the top 10 reasons why I needed to come back and play Destiny 2, and now they have just disappeared off the face of the earth with Destiny.
Well, they've burned people so many times. They've burned the community. They're terrible at communicating and pretty terrible at follow-through, and terrible at doing some of the things that are simple, which should be fairly simple to add, that they still haven't done, that people have been asking for. It's like,
did you hear about the?
You're not being a good developer when you're trying to do it that way.
Yeah. Did you hear about the recent speed update debacle?
No, I heard the speed update, but I didn't hear of a debacle.
So the speed update was touted as like, "Hey guys, we hear you, Bungie team," and they're like, "We're going to fix a lot of the issues with PvP, and we're going to make it faster. We're going to make it tighter."
I'm just going to keep doing air quotes.
Yeah, and people are like, "Wow, this is really going to help PvP," because we said that's if you fix PvP, PvE will still be its own broken thing. But if you can at least fix that, you can tide people over until your next DLCs come out.
All right.
Well, they released it, and they didn't. Everybody wanted time to kill to decrease, because it took 3 melee punches to kill somebody on any class, and it used to be 2, and it used to be you could solo kill people, and now it's whoever has multiple people shooting at you wins. Grenades don't kill people, so you can stick people and they don't die. And they're like, just fix this. That's all. There's 3 things you have to fix. Make it so I'm lethal again in PvP. And they're like, we hear you. Speed or PvP speed update or whatever. People are like, oh, they heard us, yeah. And then they drop it, and it's like you could run faster, and you could aim faster, and that was about it. And people just lost it. The Reddit, they burnt the Reddit down. It was beautiful.
When they say we hear you, what they mean is they hear some noise, so that they know people are talking about something, but they're not actually listening.
Well, there's a was it Naughty Dog or something? There was one of those big, well-respected game developers that are when somebody gives you complaints for your games, they don't actually know what they want, so you have to hear their complaints, really get to the issue of what's behind it, and then fix that. And I think Bungie took it as the community is never right, never do the thing they ask for. And the community is like, no, I just want to shoot people and they die. That's it. And they're like, we hear you. You want to go fast. They're like, no.
That is the exact opposite of what I wanted to do.
This is all we want. Just make my auto rifle kill people again. And they're like, we got you.
Well, I know there's some people that I follow on Twitter that have absolutely, this is the great Destiny is back. This is awesome, and I mean they are still flogging that dead horse, trying to keep that alive. And I tell you what, they could sit there and tell me how great it is. Yeah, they are terribly on Stockholm syndrome.
I think if you compare Destiny 2 to Destiny 1,
it's the same game.
Which you should. No, it's much worse. Which you should. It's a worse game all around. But if you were to ignore the fact that Destiny 1 exists, and you were to take it on its own and take it on its own merits, it is a respectable game in its own right. But it's still a shadow of its former self. And you're like, how did you go from this greatness? You could have literally just said, hey guys, we're taking everything away so we can change the underlying architecture and adding 4K update. And people would have been like, done. I'm 100% okay with that. Especially at the end of Rise of Iron. Rise of Iron, people were getting bored. Not because of the game, but because there was no new content being generated. And then the Destiny 2 dropped, and they just gutted everything. It was,
yeah, I don't know.
But I would say don't 100% count it out. I would see what Warmind does. It should split the community as to whether or not it fixes anything. And if people seem to be kind of 50-50, I think it's a sign that they're actually starting to turn things around and actually deliver good content.
But it's too little too late at this point.
I think so.
So much, and they've burned people so much that they have to do more than just, we've made it adequate and we've kind of gotten back to where we should have been half a year ago. Finally did it, guys. They're still quite hitting the bar.
Yeah. And I don't know if I'd even boot it up. I mean, I may have even uninstalled it at this point. I don't know. That was the worst $100 I spent last fall.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that.
I mean,
I'm
it was
super glad I did not manage to get the Legendary Edition.
Oh no, because you
that
could get it now for $60 on Amazon.
Yeah, and even then, I still wouldn't pay for it for
You can
$60.
get
I look at it, I'm just like, it's a backpack and
Yeah.
cheap solar panel. Like,
You can get the regular version of the game for $10 in a couple of different places. It's in the Humble Monthly.
That's what I was going to say. It's in the Humble Monthly bundle for $12 with
also
a
get
Mhm.
secret and stuff.
Last week it was I don't remember who it was. Last week had it for $9. No, it was Best Buy had it for $9.99, and with the gamer discount you get it for $8.
yeah, like,
I mean, you could get $8 worth out of it. And it's just
Oh yeah, if you want to play just a single player, totally worth even $10. It's worth $10.
It was
still-
worth the, like, whatever I paid for it when it came out, so I guess full price.
Yeah.
I was fine with that.
it's
but
still a 20-hour game. Regardless of what you say about it, I think you can get solid enjoyment out of it for 20 hours. And then depending on how much you like PvP, grinding, and like loot chances and blah blah blah, is whether or not you find enjoyment in it after that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I played, I think it was probably about 20 to 30 before I quit that game.
The
I
gameplay was fun, but the
what
story
little
just
bit-
did nothing for me.
yeah, the
Yeah,
first
the little
one
bit of the grind I got was just, nah, there's no reason for me to do this.
The first one, I totally dug the story. I totally dug the all the after stuff of the grinding. I liked the grinding. To me, it was fine, and especially with friends. But then when by the time Iron came out, it was just kind of like, you know what, this is not good. And then the second one come out, and I'm like, okay, let's hope that this is going to be better. They throw you in that story. It's like, yeah, this is really good. I get halfway through that story, and I'm like, yeah, this is not really that good. And I like I said, I don't know. It was 6 hours into that story, or I finished the story and said, see you boys later. I'm out.
Yeah, it was okay. But
Yeah.
It wasn't anything super special.
Yeah.
And I remember Curse of Osiris was just so lackluster. Like, it's like they had a bunch of cool ideas, and then instead of saying, okay, let's do half the ideas and really flesh them out, they're like, let's do all of them, see what the community says, and then in the next expansion after that, we'll fix these ideas. And it's like, no, that's not how you should do things.
Yeah, I don't know.
It hurts so bad.
It does, because I mean, we the first one. I even loved the first raid. We played that raid like nobody's business. What was it? The first one,
Vault of Glass.
Vault of Glass. Oh my gosh! And it was so much fun. And then once you figured out how easy it. Yeah, the first time we played it, it was hard. But then once we figured it out, it was like, oh my gosh, this is easy. We just play it and play it and play it and play it. Yep. And I've got to get my what was the pistol with the shoot? I can't even remember now. I love that gun.
Pistol with the shooting.
It was the pistol with the incendiary bullets. Why can't I remember the name of it?
What was it? The one you got from Vault of Glass?
Yes.
The best that you play.
A lot.
Vex Mythoclast.
No, not the rifle. I got that. No, what was the pistol's name? Daggone it.
What did it do? What was its perk?
It had the incendiary bullets. When you but that was one of the only guns in the game at the time that had the incendiary bullets in it. What was that? See, now I got to look it up.
It wasn't like Prated something. No, it's not that.
Hang on.
Lucky Shot.
No. Fatebringer.
That was a purple, wasn't it?
No, it was. Yeah, no, it was a purple. I think. Yeah. Yeah, Fatebringer. I mean, we ran that thing until we got every weapon out of that, and it was fun. And then the next one came out, and then the next raid came out, and we were like, yeah, this isn't as fun as Vault of Glass. And then we figured out how we could cheese it with just two of us.
Was Crota?
Crota, yeah, we could play Crota. We could the second week, and then I figured out how I could solo Crota by myself. I have video of this, of me as a hunter soloing half of Crota. You could the maze they had at the beginning that was the dark. If you were a hunter, you could go invisible and go from one end of that to the other and never touch. a single thing until you got to the where you had to build the bridge, and then all you had to do was just climb up on a rock with a rocket launcher and just go boom, boom,
And then
boom.
you wait for that the build Brit. You threw yourself off the ledge. It wiped everybody. Like respawn on the other side or whatever. And then yeah.
I did it. I did it by myself. I did that all by myself, and then everybody would join. It's like, oh, don't worry, we don't have to try to go through this. Just give me 5 seconds. Go invisible. Go to the end. Bring it up. Boom, boom, boom. We're here. Okay, we're done.
I remember going to like the LFG sites, and it'd be like had like breach checkpoint. People would be like 5 and 6. Like,
Yep.
those would go.
Oh yeah, I mean but now it's just like, but yeah, Vault of Glass, still the best raid. It'll always be the best raid, nothing better. So
I don't know. I think the Taken King one really gives it a run for its money. Just purely because remember the docking ships that you had to get the pattern down on?
too many jump puzzles in that one. Too many jump puzzles. I am not a jump puzzle fool. No.
I love the jump puzzles.
No, I had to figure out the jump puzzle in Vault of Glass so I could just jump and go boop and hit that ledge, and then that was it. Anything else, go that long way around, yeah, screw that. That ain't happening. But no, the too many jump puzzles in that King. I never finished it. I never finished the King, the last raid. Never finished it.
The boss fight for that one was the most interesting, I think, out of all of them.
It was. Go ahead.
Purely because like getting the power ups, it wasn't like you throw a Titan with a bubble in the middle, and then everybody just like whoop 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 whoop
Yeah.
whoop, whoop, and you melt. When you had to like stack people certain ways, and like all 6. Well, you could technically do it with 5 people. 5 people could coordinate, and you just like everybody went off. It was beautiful.
If you had the right team, it was so hard. You get to a certain point, and if you weren't on sync with people, and you didn't have the people who could do jump things, it was like, forget it, it's over. And I gave up on it. But all right, anything else? I don't think there's anything going on the site. We're doing the one contest for
the Stardew Valley beta thing that was listed here.
Oh yeah, is it there? Did I miss that?
Next page. It's just
I didn't scroll down all the way. No wonder I missed that. Okay, I haven't read a whole lot about it. I know it's in beta.
It was a beta for the multiplayer stuff, and it has a lot of the stuff he said that would be in it. But most importantly, hats for your horse.
Oh yeah, I gotta have hats for my horse.
But it is desktop only, so Switch people are just gonna have to wait for a while, I guess.
For the moment,
yeah.
I think they're working out some of the issues with this, and they'll probably go live with everybody.
Yeah, that's what I've understood on Twitter. I follow the dude on Twitter that does the game, and my understanding is it's in beta on PC. Once he gets all the bugs and everything worked out on PC, then it's going to be on everybody else. So I don't think it's going to be too long. He was hoping it would take about a month.
When it's just one dude, it'll take however long it'll take.
Yeah.
And I imagine too that it's a lot easier to work with Steam, because I feel like pushing updates out to Switch is just a pain in the butt, because you probably have to get a bunch of approvals.
Steam has, like, beta stuff ingrained in the system where you can put out beta versions of stuff.
Yeah.
That system's already there, so you can use it to test a lot easier than you could for
the way it works on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch is you have to submit it to the companies. They have to approve it and then push it out. So, it could take a day or two. It could take a week or two. It just depends on how backed up with games they are. As far as for stuff like that. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the Switch multiplayer, especially since me and the wife. I finally broke and did not play Stardew Valley in a long time, so I'm looking forward to getting back into it, especially when it comes out, so me and the wife can play.
So the way the multiplayer works is kind of how Minecraft on console does. Is you have someone who is the host who owns that world, and then other people can join into it and sort of help out and do things. But it's not like a server where everybody can do every little thing.
Right.
And it's just a world that everyone exists in. There is a host, and then other people who join can't quite do as many things. Like, you can build your little farmhand houses, but you can't really do much more than that. And going around and talking to people, all that you can do.
But you also get to keep your wealth, though, right? Like, so if your character gets a bunch of money and you go,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I like that visiting players will be able to get married to the hosts of the town's NPCs, including divorcing each other too. After that, players can destroy the cabins of each farmland post to convince them to move out.
Leave.
They host it. Another thing is, if somebody hosts it, they have to be there for the other people to play.
Yeah.
It's not like a server that anyone can join at any time in any configuration. It has to.
And that kind of stinks. I would like to
But
see.
for this kind of game, that's kind of how it works without being able to put some big server structure that
Yeah.
they're not going to have the as much of a need for or a demand for it. Sorry, wrong word.
Yeah, I get why they do it, but it would still be cool, if you were on my server and I wasn't on, you could go on and harvest this or that, or go ahead and plant that, or and it would be cool. But I get why they
If it probably
can't.
was a bigger game, then I would see how that could work. But with the size that it is, it's built for just one person to be running
Yeah.
and then micromanaging some stuff. So I don't know.
Yep.
Well, Terraria kind of fix that though, because they do have like their own little you can go into Terraria and download some extra software and have like your own private little server running in the background of your PC. And
I
then you
remember when
connect
Terraria was you
that.
had to connect to your friend via IP address.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was when it was still in early access beta or something. I forget. That was a long while ago. Terraria is a lot different nowadays.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
It's
But yeah.
alright.
But my point being, they could implement something like that to where you could just put a small thing on your own desktop and run it.
Yeah,
Obviously,
they
you get
could.
your security.
The game
capabilities
is
and
light
stuff.
enough that you could just run it somewhere and just be like, well, I'm just gonna stand around. But the only thing I don't know if it works is if the host player has to go to sleep every night to make it go forward, or everybody does, or what. I'm not sure. I haven't read on how.
Yeah, I haven't either. Yeah, see, and I could never host it because Suddenlink is jerks, and I have their modem, and they will not open up ports, so I cannot host my own servers or anything because they will not allow me to open up ports.
Well,
Buying
it's
a
not a server. It's just, hey, I'm playing my game online for
Yeah.
however many straight.
Well, no, yeah. Well, it's like I was going to do a Minecraft server for the guys, and I couldn't do it because my PC runs all the time. I'm like, no problem, I'll just put it up on mine. I don't care. Yeah, I couldn't do it. Nobody could connect to it, and Suddenlink was like, oh no, you can't. We can't open those ports for you. You have to get your own router and your own modem to open up those ports. We don't open them up. What? Okay.
I buy
Whatever.
my
I bet
own-
if you looked it up, you could probably find the way to get into their modems.
I have, and they lock them down to the point where I can't get in. I've tried to get into it a dozen times, and I can't. I can't even set my own Wi-Fi password. It's a Wi-Fi password set from them, and it's the serial.
Really annoying. Like,
It's.
everybody lets
I'll
you do
just.
that.
I'll just let everybody know it's the serial number to my modem. So if you break into my house and you want to get on the Wi-Fi, just flip the modem over, and it's this huge. I mean, it's this long. It is this long.
Yep.
And I can't remember it. So if something like I reset my iPad the other day and erased off of it, I had to go get the serial number off the bottom of the thing and go, let me type it in because I can't change my password to what I want. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I'm also cheap, and I'm not going to go out and buy a modem and a $200 router to do it myself.
I went out and
Leave
dropped.
that.
I dropped $200. I dropped $200 on my router and my total. It was like $150 for my router and then $50 for my
Yeah.
modem. And I think I have probably saved that money since I've moved in.
Probably.
Because it's like $10-15 a month if you look for equipment rental
Yeah.
fees
Yeah.
for that sort of thing. And then you also get the ability to be like, nope, I'm turning that off.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. If I'd just break down and do it, but I don't. I mean, I don't know.
I had Comcast when they were starting to do that like Comcast Wi-Fi connectivity crap.
Yeah.
So what they would do is it was a Wi-Fi router and modem built into one brick,
Right.
but it also had a secret second wireless router inside of it that would broadcast out a Comcast Wi-Fi hotspot.
For anybody.
And so for anybody, and
Yeah.
so you could sign into other people's routers in like this secret second router kind of thing, using your own Comcast information.
Yeah.
And so, like, what they were doing is they were having their customer set up a giant wireless system for them.
For everybody,
And
yep.
so they could be like Comcast anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Okay, people will love this.
But little did you know that they were using you, charging you $10 a month rental fee for that to set up private network.
That's exactly what they were doing. And
Yeah.
so then it was just like, nope, I'm good. Bye-bye. Done.
Yeah. Before, when we first got North State at the house, when I lived in North Carolina, we didn't have a password on our router because nobody else in the neighborhood had Wi-Fi. But as people started to get Wi-Fi, I noticed that there was people on my router and I couldn't figure out why. It was because they weren't even using their own internet. They bought an internet and their own Wi-Fi, but my signal was stronger, so they connected to them. I'm like, why are you even paying for internet when you're piggybacking off of mine? And they didn't even know it. They had no idea that they were attached. They thought they were attached to their router. They weren't. And that would happen a lot of times. Like, I would go in the living room and boot up the Xbox and all of a sudden be like, what network is this attached to? It's down the street. It's not attached here. But, at least they would let me do whatever I wanted to do on it. If I wanted to open up export or block this port or block that, but Suddenlink, nope, they clamp that sucker down, and it's ridiculous.
And I'm glad that I do.
Yeah,
Better than the trashy ones I've ever had from an ISP. So.
You know what? I never had any issues with the North State one. It was a really good router. It worked to the end of the block. This one from Suddenlink is really good. It works really good down here. It works really good outside. I can go down to the end of this block and still get internet. It's fine. But it's just the pure simple fact is I can't choose my own Wi-Fi password, and I can't open up ports that I want to open up. It's not like I'm wanting to do anything illegal. I'm just wanting to make a Minecraft server. I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, whatever. But, all right, now is that everything? Did I miss anything else? I didn't, did I?
No,
that was it.
that's it.
Okay, cool. And like I said, I know we've got a couple contests going on. If you follow us, or a contest going on, if you follow us on Twitter, you can see that contest. It's for, I don't even remember the game. It's a PS4 game. Still got at least 2 weeks on it. Yeah, it's quality. Yeah, so, and then Matt, you said you were going to probably try to stream this week on Wednesday.
That should be good.
My back's finally feeling better. I think I'm going to try to stream either Monday or Tuesday to get something cool going. But just follow us on Twitter, follow us on Twitch. That way you'll know when we're up and going. If you want to subscribe to us, that'd be great. You get a free Prime subscription all the time. Your free $5 helps out. It helps keep the site going.